How you doing?
What did you think of it?
What's that? Oh, it was good, man. That was good. Did Carol get on you?
Carol was a little mad, but she's going to get a whole pint of herself, so I'll make sure she gets it with a season where she would have a lot of people over for dinner, hopefully. So.
Yeah. Yeah, it was really good.
She's like, they had pie, and they kept asking for forks and plates instead. And there was none for me.
Yeah, that was like, you know, like a restaurant pie. It was like.
We still use lard for the pie crust.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. And then we use 3 different apples for our apple pie.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah, it was good.
Yeah.
It was
No complaints ever.
You have to sell them. Don't have to buy one from you. Yep. All right, bro. Take it easy.
I don't know if Bruce, I mean,
right up front.
Oh, you don't wanna continue? Perfect. Here we are.
I saw it today. Hello, how are you? Happy New Year. Thank you.
Citizens circle, right? That's- We're so close, well, for that.
I think it's a dry day.
Just cap, I'm not sure.
Yeah, exactly.
So I can bring it to the council.
Ready now, mister.
I'm waiting for mine to
Yeah.
come in, they sent me
I thought
another
so.
flu call until mine comes in. And I see how much difficulty you're having with
I
yours.
think he's gonna go check on that.
Oh, okay.
It's too smartphone,
We've
I'm
already,
not there
we've
yet.
got something. Oh, yeah, nice.
Yeah.
Kinda new after the last meeting, but I ain't fighting with it.
I'm hoping someone online
Get myself in trouble.
Are you cold?
I know, I had my window open most of the day.
Yeah.
Poor Grace, I'm like, I'm opening the window again, I'm like, oh my God. I was sitting there petting the dog, she was terrible, no one knows what.
I think that's
Mallory.
Petting the dog. I did too. It must be really warm.
I think somebody said it was like 58 degrees, so that's, yeah, because it's, yeah.
It's just that,
It's-
yuck rain.
Yeah. So that's, yeah.
This is from the senior center. No, it's from the senior center.
Oh, gosh.
I mean, nothing serious.
No,
just
but.
like- But you gave them for Christmas, right? Here you go, I had your 3 children, I got them all sick.
Yeah, but so close, you know, yeah, right, right.
You put it in your file. I don't know.
What are you giving him, man?
I'll try to get mine tomorrow, but I'll read yours anyway.
Oh, yeah, I don't want Hey, Rich, we're waiting on you in the conference room. Okay. For the what? Okay, so the question, we had a question, do you have a second for me? Okay. So on the resolution for number 97, to appoint the attorney, it is my understanding that that would have to be on the table twice in order for it to die on the table. So it got tabled in the first meeting, in the second meeting it sat on the table, and it's my understanding that it has to be brought up one more time before it dies on the table. Okay, so we're gonna go by what you say, so what are you telling me? Okay. Okay. Thank you. Okay. All right, so our attorney said it's dead. He has said he'll be here between 5 and 10 minutes.
It's already there?
He said he's out of here.
Okay. All right, so why don't we start the workshop meeting, we can get to that and then we'll see what's happening. Okay? All right, let's call to order the workshop meeting for January 3rd, 2023 at 5:06 p.m. Clerk call roll.
Councilmember Lescoviac,
Here.
Councilmember Bamanto,
Here.
Councilmember Stoyl,
Here.
Councilmember Nichols,
Here.
Councilmember At-Large.
Here. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Okay, communication from the mayor, we'll trouble back on that when he gets back up here. Communication from the public and petitions.
We have none, sir.
Okay, reports of standing committees, boards, and commissions. Councilwoman Woodstock. Okay, Councilmember Mount.
There was some talk about going into executive session. We could possibly do that at the end of this meeting. This meeting that we're not going to executive session.
Okay, I'll refer to Richard as soon as we can get Richard out here if we can do that. Okay, that's fine. Nothing here. Councilman Stoyl, okay, Councilwoman Nichols. Nothing out here from me. Unfinished business?
We have none.
Okay. Pre-filed resolutions?
Number 1, resolution authorizing agreement for animal control services.
Any discussion, Council? Okay, hearing none. Number 2?
Number 2, resolution awarding deferred compensation contract and authorizing mayor to execute such contract.
Any discussion, Council? Okay, hearing none. Now, the mayor's here. Mayor, you got anything for us under communication from the mayor, including this verbal message? No.
I do have a question.
Yeah.
This thing that we tabled, Bob seen twice now, tabled. First time, second time it didn't come off the table. Are you on the understanding that we cannot try to do that again tonight?
There's different ways to do it. I would imagine that when the city attorney arrives here, that he can advise on how to do it.
You said you can't take off. I like just
Right, but you can introduce a new resolution.
Yep.
And it can come off the floor with a motion and a second, and then you can open discussion and vote on it.
Correct. Okay. Anything under new business?
No new business, sir?
Okay. Okay, got a motion from Nichols to adjourn. Do I have a second?
Second.
From Stoyl.
Councilmember Lescoviac,
Hi.
Councilmember Bamanto,
One question.
Councilmember Stoyl.
One question for, you say, do we want to go into executive session versus meeting?
I wanted to hear from Richard. So I haven't heard anything from Richard.
Wait till Richard comes.
Exactly.
Okay.
No, we'd have to wait until the start of the next meeting.
Okay.
Okay? Yep. I'm sorry, call roll for.
Councilmember Bamanto.
Aye.
Councilmember Stoyl.
Aye.
Councilmember Nichols.
Aye.
Councilmember At-Large.
Aye, carry.
This is the second meeting that
Testing, 1, 2.
Councilmember Stoyl.
Here.
Councilmember Nichols.
Here.
Councilmember at-large Benito.
Here. Okay, at this time, I'd like to call the two chiefs up, please, for our awards presentation.
Chief, can you talk in the mayor's mic? Just unhook it and bring it to him. Thank you. I appreciate it.
Thank you, sir.
Good evening, everyone. 2 weeks ago, we were here to present awards to our police officers and firefighters who were involved in an incident back on December 4th in which 5 lives of our city residents were saved due to their efforts. I have Officer Emily Foy with me here tonight. She was unable to attend, and I wanted to make sure that we afforded her the ability to come so we could recognize her for her efforts during that night. Just a quick recap of our officers and our firefighters responding to a scene where there were 5 unresponsive people that were not breathing. Very chaotic situation. Emily, along with her fellow police officers and the firefighters that were on scene, took control of the situation. They maintained public safety. They were very professional in how they did their job, and as a result of her actions, along with her fellow officers and firefighters, 5 lives were saved that morning. So again, I just wanted to bring Emily up because I felt she deserved the recognition that the rest of our officers and our firefighters received that night, and I want to tell her that we are very proud of her and congratulate her for her efforts, and to let our citizens again know that our officers and our firefighters are out there working for them each and every day, and this is a perfect example of how well they work together, saving lives and providing public safety for our community.
As I said last week, being a retired police officer, again, I can tell you that police officers do not get paid for what they actually do. They get paid for what they may have to do. And these officers deserve to be commended. Sometimes, being an officer, you witness things that will change your lives forever. And that's what these officers did. I commend them. As mayor, I'm very proud of all of our officers and all those that were involved in saving these lives. Thank you.
It's okay. Congratulations, Emily. Sorry you missed last week, but
It's okay, thank you.
I like the way that you guys and the fire department work together. The uniformed forces in the city we know they're out there every day, and we appreciate it. As a matter of fact, I just got a compliment over this weekend about police officers, maybe one of you guys were up to St. Edwards, where a gentleman showed up, no shoes, his hands were black, his feet were black. He wanted a ride. The guy said, I can't. My car's in Elman's. He called you guys. And the caretaker says, I couldn't be proud of the Dunkirk Police Department, how they acted so professionally. So keep up the good work.
No, I just reiterate what I said last time. I'm very proud of everybody that was involved that night. I happened to be on that call and witnessed the actions, and couldn't be prouder of our police officers and firefighters, and congratulations.
Just reiterate what you guys said. I mean, when I sat down and reviewed everything, whether, a couple weeks ago, I couldn't believe it. And I definitely felt it went above and beyond and deserved this recognition. So, congrats.
As a supervisor that night, Emily did a great job. Other officers did a great job. And, just a great example of our 2 departments working close together.
to the certification of prior meeting.
This is to certify that an official copy of the minutes of the common council meeting of Tuesday, December 20th, 2022 is presented to the mayor on Tuesday, December 27th, 2022. Pursuant to section 3.03 of the Dunkirk City Charter, all items presented to the mayor are now in full force and effect. In witness whereof, I have here to set my hand and the seal of the city of Dunkirk, New York, this 3rd day of January 2023.
Can I have a motion to dispense? Nichols, can I have a second? Lescoviac, second.
Councilmember Lescoviac.
Aye.
Councilmember Bamanto.
Aye.
Councilmember Stoyl.
Aye.
Councilmember Nichols.
Aye.
Councilmember at-large DeMico.
Aye, carried. At this point, can I have a motion to go into executive session for possible employment and or contract?
I'd like to make a motion to go into executive session.
Okay, I got a motion from Nichols, can I have a second? Second by Lescoviac.
Councilmember Lescoviac.
Aye.
Councilmember Bamanto.
Aye.
Councilmember Stoyl.
Aye.
Councilmember Nichols.
Aye.
Councilmember at-large DeMico.
Aye.
Yeah.
This is getting fun.
Natalie.
Well, sit down. I gotta go through it.
Just need a motion to come out of executive.
Yeah, I'm just waiting for them to get all good in here.
Did we get those couches and shit out of there? What? Did we ever get those couches and shit out of there?
Is this yours?
Posted, is it still there?
I don't know. That's why I was asking.
I'll check after the meeting.
Yeah.
If not, we'll get it first thing in the morning.
Yeah, right. Believe it or not, my daughter driving me, Dad is turning into a duck. Man, right, and it goes right around the corner of the main.
I gotta check it at the pump station. I'll check it out as soon as. A motion to reconvene back from executive to the regular meeting. Stoyles with a motion, seconded by Nichols. Clerk call the roll.
Councilmember Lescoviac.
Aye.
Councilmember Bamanto.
Aye.
Councilmember Stoyl.
Aye.
Councilmember Nichols.
Aye.
Councilmember at-large D'Amico.
Aye, carried. Reading of the privilege of the floor regulations.
The privilege of the floor shall be extended to any person appearing for themselves, in which case that individual shall be limited to 3 minutes, and to any person representing a group who shall be limited to 5 minutes. When recognized, please stand and state your name and address. The city clerk shall have the duty of maintaining such time limits, and the councilman at large may determine at his discretion whether individuals are speaking for themselves or representing groups. Councilman at large D'Amico shall maintain good order and may require any speaker to cease speaking if remarks are made in bad taste, are slanderous, or non-germane to any action taken or contemplated by council. The time limit specified shall be strictly adhered to, except that a speaker may be allowed to complete a statement or thought started before such time has expired.
Thank you. Privilege of the floor is now open. If anyone would like to speak, go ahead, ma'am. Please come to the podium, state your name and address.
Good evening. My name is Sharon Naratko. My address is 733 Washington Avenue. I'm a concerned taxpayer in the city of Dunkirk. I'm here this evening to voice my concern that the city of Dunkirk is entering 2023 potentially without an attorney on staff, pending Rich Morris Rowe's departure. Am I allowed to ask if this issue has been resolved? I'm asking if this issue has been resolved.
I can answer that.
Put it this way, we're going to act on it later in the meeting. They're drawing up a walk-in now.
And will it be resolved at that time?
We hope so. Obviously, it has to come across, it's got to come across the floor, but
Okay.
yes.
Understood, then I'll proceed. I've been following the city's budget discussions for the past couple of months using the online videos that are posted. I realize that council previously considered Mike Bobson to replace Rich. I don't really know Mike Bobson, therefore I reviewed his credentials online. He has experience working for a law firm, many years of experience, working for family court, and working with Chautauqua County Legislature. Very importantly, perhaps most importantly, he's interested in serving Dunkirk as the city attorney. He was interested. I don't know if he still is interested. Hopefully he is. We don't have an abundance of attorneys seeking work in the city of Dunkirk, and in particular, probably not part-time work. As a taxpayer, I don't care if the city attorney resides in Dunkirk, Fredonia, Westfield, or wherever. And where he or she lives shouldn't affect the pay for the position. My understanding is that a salary of $60,000 was suggested for the city attorney position with a part-time work expectation estimated at 20 to 25 hours per week. I also understand that retaining a law firm, perhaps in Buffalo or somewhere else in Western New York, for legal representation for the city may be considered if a staff attorney can't be hired. The $60,000 salary per year would equate, for 20 to 25 hours of work per week, would equate to $57.69 per hour for 20 hours, or $46.15 per hour for 25 hours. I'm self-employed as a nurse consultant doing insurance defense work. I work with attorneys at multiple law firms in the Buffalo area every week. The hourly rate that I see on bills for the type of work that I do from attorneys runs from $165 per hour to $225 per hour. This is for very young attorneys, basically young attorneys who are cutting their teeth doing insurance defense work. That equates to an average hourly rate of $190 per hour. Therefore, $60,000 per year would yield 316 hours per year at the rate of $190 per hour, or 6 hours per week. So we're really, when you consider using a law firm, retaining the services of a law firm, you're looking at getting 6 hours per week for $60,000 per year versus 20 to 25 hours per week. As a taxpayer in the city of Dunkirk, I urge the mayor and council members to fill the position of city attorney with an attorney on staff.
Thank you, ma'am.
Until the position is filled, the city is unprotected.
Thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Would anyone else like to speak? Yes, sir.
Paul Sommerfeld, Brooks Avenue, Citizens Advisory Committee. How have you all been? I haven't seen you in a while. Last week there was a accident on Brigham Road where a truck impacted the Brigham Road viaduct, frequent target of tractor trailers over the years. And I have concerns about that. It seems as if that area is not identified in a way that helps the truckers to know what's going on. If you look at where the signage is located, it's located at the bottom of the hill, which is well beyond the time for a trucker to actually make a decision about whether or not he's going to go through that tunnel or not. It would seem to me that it would make sense to have a sign telling them what the clearance is well before that place is, so that they can make a decision about going through. I also have concerns about the externalities of that, where there's costs associated with that. We heard a presentation at the beginning of this meeting about how important the time is for our law enforcement officers. And it seems to me that if we have accidents that can be prevented, then that gives our law enforcement officers and firefighters more time to do other things than to watch a closed road. I don't know how long that road was closed for, but it was closed for quite a while. I also have it on good authority that our police officers also had a truck earlier that day where they had to help maneuver him out of the area. We also have issues with truck routes in the city. And my concern is that we haven't addressed or looked at truck routes recently that reflect how trucks travel around the city. A few years ago, we had Wright Street, or whatever the name of it is this week, redone. And my understanding is that after the county did it, they discovered that trucks used that road a lot, and it wasn't rebuilt to the standards of a truck route, which means we're going to be paying more money because that street is going to wear out faster. And it seems to me that we need to talk to these truckers as well when they're driving down streets that aren't truck routes, so that they know what's going on. Before I retired, I was employed where I had hours of service limitations, such as these truckers have, where they can only work a certain number of hours, they have to have a certain number of time off. And with the current competitive market, you've got these truckers that have GPS units in their vehicles where they basically snitch on the drivers, so they're compelled by their employment to get in and out of the city as fast as they can. And it seems to me that we should help these drivers without causing problems with our own citizens where they've got to find new ways around the city while there's roads that are closed and such. I could carry on, but I'm sure you're going to beat that gavel in a second, so thanks a lot.
Thank you.
Understand anything? I didn't.
Anyone else like to speak on our public portion? Going once,
Understand what that math meant. I know.
twice, 3 times. Privilege of the floor is closed. Communication from the mayor, including disapproval messages. Mayor?
Mr. Chairman, I just want to thank all the council members for the conversation we just had in executive session. I also have 2 quick announcements. On Thursday, December 29th, Governor Kathy Hochul announced over $22 million in grant funding was awarded to 76 communities across the state through the Round 12 of the Regional Economic Development Council initiative to promote smart, sustainable, and equitable community growth. The City of Dunkirk applied for and will be receiving $74,700 from the Smart Growth Planning and Zoning Grant Program. The project submitted is called the Sustainable Dunkirk 2030 Zoning Code for Resiliency Smart Growth. The City of Dunkirk seeks to update its zoning code to improve the alignment of current and historical development patterns and plan for strategic smart growth development. Additionally, Chautauqua County, the City of Dunkirk, along with 9 other municipalities were awarded $193,500 through the LWRP grant, Local Waterfront Revitalization Program. In this round of funding, Chautauqua County will assist the coastal towns of Hanover, Sheridan, Dunkirk, Pomfret, Portland, Westfield, and Ripley, the villages of Silver Creek and Westfield, and the City of Dunkirk to prepare and adopt local waterfront revitalization programs and supporting local regulations. The LWRPs will promote the state's coastal policies along Lake Erie and guide future economic development and preservation of natural and cultural resources, and expand public access along the shoreline. I'd like to commend our development team. This is a long process. When we submit applications to be a community that has been awarded, it's a very competitive process, and I commend our development team on this good news for the city. That's all I have today. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, communication from the public and petitions?
We have none, sir.
Thank you. Reports of standing committees, boards, and commissions. Councilwoman Liskoviak.
Yes, I would like to answer Paul Sommerfeld of the CAC. I mean, I know when I take long trips, my GPS, tells me if there is, why they're rerouting me because there's, accident, whatever. So perhaps the New York State Department of Transportation knows how to relate to the GPS, and we can talk to them about that viaduct. Vince, I have a question for you regarding the bird scooters of last summer, a project you initiated for our city. I'm just wondering, how were the performance results now that we are out of the spring, summer, fall season? How was it a success? I think it was.
Thank you, Councilwoman, for asking. I don't have any formal type of report or update that was presented by the bird scooters, but just from anecdotal stories and reports and just my watching the usage of the bird scooters, I saw them zipping up and down along Lakeshore Drive, along Central Avenue, through the streets. I think after one season, they will probably have enough experience to determine, what needs to be strengthened in the program. The city did realize approximately $800 in revenue that comes from each and every ride. But what's really important is we're providing this alternate means of transportation. We're making connections. The village of Fredonia and SUNY at Fredonia also have this program in effect. So if we can make those connections and connect our 2 municipalities, our village and the city, I think that's a big positive benefit of the scooter. So providing this transportation for people to get to work and to recreate in the city of Dunkirk, I think is a good thing, and look forward to this next season with the bird scooters, and hopefully it'll be even more successful.
Well, thank you for bringing that to us. It blossomed to other cities around us. I would like to address fabrications by Councilwoman Nichols in the paper a week ago. Not only have I not missed a council meeting, I missed one budget meeting due to being out of town. I had to say that.
Okay, Councilwoman, this is a report of standing committees here. Not a time.
There are finishing touches being made to the City of Dunkirk Hero banner program in the works, and it will be officially ready to go forth soon. Just a few details yet, but you can already see the website, City of Dunkirk Hero banner program.com. Stay tuned, please. Thank you.
Thank you. Councilman Bomano.
Yes, Mayor, thank you for the 74,000 plus smart growth initiative, and also the LWRP and your development department and anyone else that worked on that. Thank you. The city really appreciates that. Richard, we seem to have this question about the city attorney, this 20 to 25 hours. Let's clear up the 20 to 25 hour thing. Sometimes it's more or less. I mean, give the public obviously has the mindset it's in 15 to 20 to 25 hours. So
Sure. So in response to that, I'll say, so we're a blue-collar town, and we're used to factory and work where you punch a clock and you punch out. Your hours are set, whether you're first shift, second shift, overnight. And so that's sort of the framework with which a lot of people are looking at these kind of positions. And what I can tell you is, in today's modern era with the technology we have for professionals, whether you're talking attorneys, doctors, architects, engineers, we all are attached to a smartphone and a laptop or a tablet. And we're available often and often working 24/7, much to the chagrin of our kids and our spouses and friends. This job is part-time in name only. There are times when I work less than 20 hours a week, where I worked less, I should say, and there are times where I worked over 40 to 50 hours a week. And the salary remains the same because it's a salary. There's no overtime. We're not on a CBA. We're not on a contract. It is what it is, but you have to do what you have to do to get the job done. And we have tasks we have to complete. We have projects we have to complete. We work with you on the resolutions and all the council members, and we work with all the department heads as well as the mayor as needed. And so some weeks are incredibly hectic and other weeks are a little slow. But I would say that's the nature of municipal work in general, based on my experience working in the city of Buffalo as well. But thank you for allowing me to clear that up.
Yep. Yeah. So hopefully now the public can get some more clarification on that. It's not based just on 20 hours, not 20 hours and he goes home and that's it, and he's done for a week. It's beyond that. So, thank you. That's all I have.
Thank you. Councilman Stoyl.
Nothing, I took care of that during the awards.
Okay. Councilwoman Nichols.
Yes, I have a couple. As long as you've got the mic, Richard, and are clearing up a few things, could you also clear up the issue on being a city resident for being an attorney for the city?
Sure. So not in the charter, but in the city code, in the chapter about the law department, it says it's residency required per the public officers law, which is New York State law. And within that, there's certain elements that you have to meet to be considered a public officer under New York State law. And that goes for both elected officials and appointed. One is you have to be sworn in, as you guys are when you take office, and you do an official oath. That's something that the city attorney position in the city of Dunkirk traditionally has not done. The next is you have to be somebody who's either on contract or through civil service. We're neither. We're at-will employees, meaning that the person who hires and fires us, the mayor, can do so at will. And the other is, and I'll say this for the folks who really feel this is an issue, as a hometown boy from East Chicago, Indiana, I always want what's best for my hometown, and I want to keep it hometown. So I get that mentality for Dunkirk as well, and I got it when I was living in Buffalo as an outsider coming in. But I can tell you that in this day and age, in the current labor market we have,
in this country right now, it is cutting one's nose off to spite one's face to get hung up on a residency requirement, because the labor market is tight for everything right now, and especially for professionals. So for a smaller community like Dunkirk or Fredonia to focus only on residency is to do itself a disservice. And I say that for any position. And those of you who are employers or supervisors know it's been tough post-COVID and the pandemic shutdowns to hire, retain, and keep good talent. And when you do, you have to up the price. And that's, obviously one of the issues we've been discussing with this position.
Thank you, Richard. To go on, what Paul was talking about is the viaduct. I don't know, Randy, do people come out and I know there have been several tractor trailers that have ended up looking like a tuna fish can because they've gone either too fast, thinking the markings on there for the clearance is more than what they think it is, and they just have to be backed out of there because the top of their trailer gets rolled back. Does anybody come and remeasure that so that it's clarified? Either the railroad or who's responsible for that?
Sure. Let me address all of that. Number one, those are good observations that the CAC provided, and those observations happen every day. To wait a period of time, any period of time, to then bring them to this forum is okay, but it's not the best forum. The best forum would be to give us a call immediately to the engineering technician, 366-9837, who is the interface with that. That's a county road. If we heard about this earlier, the engineering technician would have called the county engineers. We would have been working on that already. Right now, I've had 5 minutes notice. I don't have a sign machine with us. We're not doing anything. Something could get stuck right now. So I want to improve the forum where that kind of information gets to us. We have an excellent website that was developed by Sergeant Manzella, and people can get on there and get stuff to us immediately. So what I'm doing is agreeing with the observation. I'm not agreeing with the way it was brought to us because I would like to act on it more quickly. So we want to look at that, and it should be a process where we interface with the state, with the county, because we're going to need to get the county's permission to do that. The county does measure those, and they're posted. Some truckers think that because it's posted a certain thing, there is a little bit of a safety factor in the number. They think they can do it, and they're wrong. But so we'll work on that particular one. We'll check out all of them. The police and the fire department work with DPW on that, and we'll review all of the signage and things like that. We don't want to oversign, but we don't want to undersign either. I think with signs, other things like that, with the right forum projected out there, we can get that done. Thanks.
But on the other hand, with the same issue, just to make sure that there was no damage to the tracks itself or okay, go ahead.
Yeah, I was just going to ask Randy.
Okay, go ahead, Chief.
Every time one of the railroad bridges is struck, we call, whether it is CSX, whether it is Norfolk and Southern, and we do not release that until they send someone out to inspect that bridge and make sure that it is still in proper structural order.
And you're reading my mind. Thank you. Mayor, I know when the clinic on 3rd and Main was being constructed or thought about, and I thought when they had articles in the newspaper that they were going to potentially have, and I'm using the word potentially have, some kind of a security guard system over there. But I've had a lot of seniors and elderly people that are extremely petrified of going into any of the businesses down on 3rd or Main and 4th because of people that are loitering around there. I thought when they made the presentation that they were going to have some kind of a holding or resting area for those people that are going in for the treatments that they are going in to get. And I don't know if you could look into it or have somebody look into having it so that they're not wandering the streets. They're dropped off at 9 and they don't get picked up until later in the day, and they're just causing a lot of havoc. I've talked to employees at CVS and at Save-A-Lot and Dollar General. I'm very fearful we lost one store, and I know one of the girls that worked there, and that was one of the reasons why, was because they were being shoplifted continually, because there was a great many of them that would walk in there and try to make the employees think they're to check on this group, and this group over here was stuffing their pockets and their pant legs and everything else with merchandise. I'm fearful for the 3 buildings that are there that house our senior citizens. They were very concerned that they lost Walgreens, and that was one of their pharmacies that they went to, and now they either have to go to a delivery service or to utilize CVS. Not saying that there's anything wrong with CVS, but they were very familiar with Walgreens, and they had been using them as their pharmacy for a long time. And I promised a group of the elderly that I would bring it to your attention at the meeting, and I'm sorry I have to do it this way. And I don't know if there's anything you can do about it.
As far as shoplifting in these stores, my recommendation would be for them to have some store detectives and beef up their security. As far as the clinic goes that I'm aware of, there have not been any major issues there. The fact of the matter is that we do have many people in our community that need the services of that clinic. So I will look into it and see if there's any outstanding issues. But my understanding, and again, the chief and I have both looked into this just a few months ago, and I believe that there are no outstanding issues there, but I will look into it again.
Thank you. I'm done.
Thank you. Okay, on my report, I'd like to comment on all the city employees over the Christmas holiday that came in, whether it was Christmas Eve or Christmas Day, New Year's Eve, New Year's Day. I know there was a lot of salting, sanding, police, fire, but I mean, our employees throughout the city that helped us get through. Hey, we dodged a bullet. It could have been a lot worse than our friends in Buffalo got, but it still wasn't the greatest of weather around. And I want to thank those employees for doing their damnness. Let's move on to unfinished business.
We have none, sir.
Okay. Let's go to pre-filed resolution, resolution number 1.
Number 1, resolution authorizing agreement for animal control services.
Any discussion, council? Hearing none, clerk, call the roll.
Councilmember Lescoviac.
Aye.
Councilmember Bamanto.
Aye.
Councilmember Stoyl.
Aye.
Councilmember Nichols.
Aye.
Councilmember at-large D'Amico.
Aye, carried.
Number 2, resolution awarding deferred compensation contract and authorizing mayor to execute such contract.
Any discussion, council? Hearing none, clerk, call the roll.
Councilmember Lescoviac.
Aye.
Councilmember Bamanto.
Aye.
Councilmember Stoyl.
Aye.
Councilmember Nichols.
Aye.
Councilmember at-large D'Amico.
Aye, carried. Okay, we're going to go into new business, walk-on resolution number 3, 2023. Okay, so I'm going to need a motion to walk in.
So moved.
Nichols,
Second.
seconded by Bomano.
Councilmember Lescoviac.
Aye. Aye.
Councilmember Bamanto.
Aye.
Councilmember Stoyl.
Aye.
Councilmember Nichols.
Aye.
Councilmember at-large D'Amico.
Aye. Walked in. Okay. Ed, when you get a minute, can you read the
Absolutely.
resolution? Thank you.
Walk-on resolution number 3, 2023, January 3rd, 2023. By Councilmembers Bamanto, Lescoviac, Nichols, and Stoyl. Consent to appointment of city attorney. Whereas Section 2-6.01 of the City Code provides that a city attorney shall be appointed by the mayor with the consent of the Common Council. And whereas pursuant to Section 2-6.01 of the City Code, Mayor Wilfred Roses has appointed Michael K. Bobstein, Esquire, Fredonia, New York, to the position of part-time city attorney for the city of Dunkirk, subject to the consent of the Common Council. Now therefore be it resolved that Michael K. Bobstein Esquire be confirmed as part-time city attorney for the city of Dunkirk, effective immediately at $55,000 and 0 cents per annum with full benefit package.
Any discussion, council? Hearing none, clerk call the roll.
Councilmember Lescoviac.
Aye.
Councilmember Bamanto.
Aye.
Councilmember Stoyl.
Aye.
Councilmember Nichols.
Aye.
Councilmember at-large D'Amico.
Aye, carried. Okay, can I have a motion for adjournment? I got,
Stiles and Nichols.
yeah, Stoyl, Nichols, and Mendy. So I had Stoyl and Nichols.
Councilmember Lescoviac.
Aye.
Councilmember Bamanto.
Aye.
Councilmember Stoyl.
Aye.
Councilmember Nichols.
Aye.
Councilmember at-large D'Amico.
Aye, we're adjourned.
Aye, 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 aye.
To adjourn Stoyl and Nichols.